Whoa, something's happened in the future, and I just got here. Welcome back to some Dark Chronicle. We're just gonna go and, deal with Stuart, I guess, right? That was the last thing I remember doing. Okay, let's look around here. What do we got? We got a lot of good things going on here. Got some good things going on here. All right, all good stuff. Great. Okay, now, okay, that's for the French chef. This is for Parn, who doesn't need to live with Julie for whatever reason. You would have figured, like, you had to move them both into the same house or something like that, right? But nope, doesn't seem relevant. Do I have Stuart yet? No. Okay, so we gave him money to go bet on a book. He took our money, a substantial sum from a child, nonetheless, but a rich child. So it's kind of like some rich kid is like, hey, you know, I'll give you $2,000. I don't care. Here you go. But go buy your book. You're not going to be like, I'm robbing from a kid. You know, he's a rich kid. What does it matter? I actually, it's not the nicest thing to say, but I think it's the morally correct choice to take every single thing that a rich person offers you. Everything. Take literally everything from them and never say no. Because, you know, screw them. They're rich. Most people will live and die and suffer without ever having a tenth or a single percentage of what some rich people have. So, yeah, screw them. Take their stuff. Like, if they offer it to you, if you can get it, if they're giving it away, do it. Take their dinners, take their food, take their money, take their rides. Take their jobs if you can. Hey, Stuart, did you buy your book? Thank you very much. I managed to make a successful bid. I bid strong and everyone else dropped out really quickly, so I got it for 1,400 gilda. So now I can give you 600 back. Oh, I'll work hard from now on to repay you the rest of the money I borrowed. I know, I put you to a lot of trouble. I'll repay the favor anytime. Alright, thanks, Stuart. You know what? I'm gonna go check, because why not? We're here. I'll go see if my dad's proud of me. And then, where is he? Is he downstairs or upstairs? I can't remember this guy. Hey, guy who kind of looks like Griffin, but totally isn't. Don't worry about it. Looks like you've gotten pretty good with the weapons, too. I don't even need to see you shoot. I can tell by the way you hold it. Okay, I'll help you out, but I'm not doing it for you. If this town's in danger, I just can't sit here doing nothing. Alright, thanks, Gerald. That's how you know you have a good relationship with your dad. He's not even dad, he's Gerald. Yeah, I don't call my dad anything because he's dead, but I do forget that people have dads. I actually forget that people live with men in general, right? Because, like, I am a dude, don't get me wrong, but I would say I have a balance of traits that make me probably easier to be around and live with. You know, like, I'll cook and I'll clean and I won't raise a fuss if I have to do those things. I have hobbies, but I don't try and spread them out too much. You know, I'm good with sharing space, and I like cute dogs, and I'm in touch with my emotions and all that stuff. There's tons of dudes who, living with them is just like living with some, like, loud brick that grunts a lot and gets mad at shit, refuses to explain, but everyone has to be totally cool with their anger. It's just like, I don't know. I haven't lived with very many men. I know it's a weird thing to say, right? Being a dude and all. But yeah, like, my dad died early. I have a brother, but he's, like, younger than me. So it only counts so much, right? And then, you know, I have a mom. But then I've never lived with other men. I've never had, like, male roommates. It was never my life. So, yeah, you know, it's just one of those things. Like, I don't have any recollection of sports either. I know a lot of dads do sports and stuff like that. But genuinely, like, whenever I've talked to people, Dan Pears, a book's worth sending me. Okay, cool. Buy shoes. Well, okay, do these let me actually walk on hot floors? Because I feel like that's like a gameplay benefit. Am I incorrect? Cool. Cool. New, I don't know what shoes are called. That's actually another thing. I know a lot of dudes, like, it's really popular to, like, be a sneakerhead and spend a lot of money on shoes. And I kind of have a disconnect from a lot of communities in that. Like, I like a few display pieces and stuff like that. But a lot of my hobbies are kind of functional. You know, it's like you can do something and you can do something with it. Sneakers, just like put them on a wall. I guess I don't entirely get the connection, but whatever.
Rarity shop, star items. A place like that might sell a star glass.
Star glass?
A star glass is a mysterious item that can reverse the flow of time. But it can only turn back time to a moment of deep significance to the person that uses it. If we use a star glass to go back into Lynn's memory, we can get back to the time when Lynn and Crest were attacked.
Yeah, we are just deep in random magical MacGuffins that could solve this plot for us. But I guess we're using it to kind of solve this, but like, I don't know, like if this was me, right? Saving Crest, that's probably a great idea. But why not just like, if you can get one of these items, make it a point of fact to just track down somebody with the most significant traumatic memory. Go back to whatever essential event you can and unfuck stuff. You know, plans never go as expected. Something worse could happen. Maybe that's what Dark Cloud 3 is. I don't know, right? It doesn't exist, if only. Another universe. You have Dark Cloud 3 and Season 2 of Firefly just together there.
Great idea, but it won't work unless Lynn can get her memory
Oh,
back.
and Mega Man Legends 3. That's in that trifecta too. Just games that should have existed, never did, probably do in some alternate universe. And they're great.
Right. First, let's try to get a hold of the star glass.
Okay. Well, it looks like a few things are, you know, it's happening. Cool. You know, it's funny. I remember like the first time I played this game, I was really into the inventions and I was doing it a lot. And as is right now, I'm kind of just like, whatever. I haven't really encountered a need for it, so. Different items have different effects. Some can help you, others change to form weapons. If you can try experimenting, you'll be able to beat even the toughest of enemies. Try everything you can. I mean, is that... Sure, we'll get Monica a cute dress. These are... Oh, wow, these are great. This is fantastic prices for this type of stuff. If I need something, alright. Baller. Mighty healing, totally not heroin. Definitely not. Uh-huh. Wow. For 300 gilda. 300 gilda. That is roughly 3 times the price of a pair of work shoes. You can turn back time to a significant moment from your past. This economy is bonkers. Okay. Monica. Oh wow, that's I feel like the skirt could be a little bit more pronounced. It's not so bad when the camera's up, but that front, it's just I don't even think here's the thing. I'm a guy, I like hot anime girls. I don't even know if this is entirely flattering. It's a little bit like boy cutish, like right there in the groin. It's a little tight on the leg, kind of like a brief, or like no, like tighty whities would be, right? Not like a brief. The skirt is nice, but the way it cuts her legs, is a little bit boyish. Actually, I would say, like, even in real life, if an attractive person was wearing that, it might not be. Yeah, like, we'll wear it for the episode, but the what not to wear in me is just like, girl, you need to just extend this a little bit, and it's gonna accentuate everything, and you're gonna look so much better. Oh my god, come on. I feel bad for dudes who really push against any element of not masculine energy, because there's actually nothing to me that screams insecurity more than being afraid of that type of thing. Like, even dudes who like couldn't admit that like another man is attractive or anything like that. It's like the fear, like Chris Hemsworth will walk up to you and his rippling abs will just like blink at you, and if you don't look away, the entirety of the person you are is just gonna change or be tempted. And I kind of have the belief that, like, if you look at something like that and you feel tempted, that's not, the fault of anything that's going on. That's just a sign of how you feel about things. Because, even as a great example, I've probably kissed a few dudes, and it's probably one of the greatest ways to know that you are indeed straight is to go, yeah, that wasn't for me. Gave it a shot, but nah, prefer the other option. And I feel like that's a lot more respectable than someone being like, no, oh my god, what if I liked a dick or something? Like, they're so fearful of what could happen that they recoil in this way that makes them look like they're just jumping out of their skin to do exactly what they're afraid of, right? Like, oh god, nobody bringing an attractive man near me. I don't know what I'm gonna do. It's like the insecurity is so humorous. Okay, I guess can I just go talk to Lynn with this? Or like, what's the deal? Do I just talk to her in my inventory? We'll go check it out. But yeah, dudes are really like funny and insecure to me, which is always amusing. Just like how easily they can get shaken or turned away from something. They recoil so quickly. Their egos are so fragile, and oh no, you can't threaten my masculinity, my big strong macho-ness. Oh no. Whereas I guess I'm on the opposite. Like, I feel like somebody who is not at all fragile or sensitive about that. Like, I think the manliest dude in the room, if you had a room full of dudes, would be like the guy wearing a pink tutu, nipple tassels, and loving it and having a great time. It's just like, isn't my fucking outfit the best, bro? And just like laughing, enjoying everything, complimenting other people, dyeing his hair pink. And like the least masculine dude is the guy who has to be in a suit with his short hair, his arms crossed, looking angry, talking about tits or something. Like the person who has to put that much work into just appearing normal is probably the guy that isn't that secure in his skin. But maybe that's just me. Okay, so how do I thought I could talk to this person like this? What, can I not talk to you? Do I just like use the item? I don't know, man. Yeah, maybe she's like, is she on the train now? Do I have to change her to somebody else so that she pops up on the house and I can go talk to her normally? I don't know. Oh, hey, I love how my rich dad's just sitting here in the train all day because I built a gun real good. Julia, you're here without your partner. Sad. I'm sorry. Granny, Conda. Okay. Well, where... Like, again, I just feel like... Yeah, I don't know why I'm derping on this. Huh. All right, well, it's fine. We can solve this problem the old school way. What the heck? Yeah, oh, okay, maybe I have to, like... Do I have to go back to the dungeon now to, like, go where this battle happened? Maybe that's what's happening here. Okay, let's try that. Boom. Yeah, is this where it all happened, Lynn? I don't know. Oh, I'm just smacking stuff. Wait, do I move faster when I move slightly off axis compared to just walking left or right? Or is it just because the camera's turning? I don't know. Okay, sorry, just playing around with that. There are some games like that where like the movement isn't equalized, so some directions like impart the movement speed from going left and straight, and you kind of get like this crazy... Okay, we gotta go rest by this tree. Sure, man, we only just got here after sleeping, resting, and doing not much else, but that's fine. Whatever works, dude. Where do you want me to rest here? Oh, okay, sure. Whatever works. All right.
No! Lynn!
Master, why do you want to be a sage?
That's a good question. Maybe because everyone respects them, treats them like royalty.
Hey, that's not right. Don't you mean something like, so I can save the world?
That works too. To tell the truth, I want to be the kind of person who can put everyone else at ease. Everyone can count on a sage. With a dependable person nearby, danger is always far away. That's what a sage is. Don't you think you'd want someone like that near you? Someone to count on?
Yeah, I do.
My hometown was an easy target for the thieves that came from the desert. Everyone was constantly on edge, never knowing when they would strike next. As a child, I often wondered, isn't there someone strong out there who can take care of these thugs? What about the sages I read about in fairy tales? Where are they? Well, I was about to find out. It was when the thieves were plundering the village one day. A single-robed man showed up out of nowhere. He used mysterious magic to defeat the raiders one by one and defend the village. I thought this must be who I've been waiting for. So I asked him, "Are you a sage?" I said. He replied, "Me? I'm no sage. I could never come close." A sage is a person who can defend others just by being there, he said. Just by being there. Is that even possible? That's what I want to do. If I can. So that sage was my role model.
Well, who's to bet it like was you or something hilarious like that? Or is it Lynn? I don't know.
Sages are great people, aren't they? So, if you can use a lot of magic, then you can be a sage?
I wonder. Even I don't know that. What's that?
It's a memo eater. So that's it, huh?
All right. Yeah, I'm sure that sounds better than the original Japanese. Let's just go with that.
Memo eater?
That's right. It gets into people's heads and eats up their memories.
You know what? Really quick, I'm just curious. What is memo eater? Okay, let's just look this up real quick. Eh? Memo eater. Also known as the devourer of memories. That's a little bit better. A little bit better. Yeah. Yeah, I'm trying. Whatever. Devourer of memories is a little bit better. Memo eater. It just sounds like somebody who just like does a real good job at the office of making sure nobody gets notices. Aye, and he a chunky boy. Yeah, I'm totally not gonna get into the ride pod right away and cheese this. Nope.
I remembered everything. All of it.
Oh man, I'm so sorry. Honestly, this kind of like reminds me of one of the best episodes of Buffy the Vampire Slayer ever. Like this immortal being from the medieval ages is risen. It's like, no weapon that man has ever created can destroy me. And Buffy's like, well, man has invented a lot of new weapons. Did they try an RPG? And just blows him up with an RPG. And it works. That's great. So, you know, like a memo eater, probably a bad problem back in the day before, you know, technology caught up. Now, like, oh, okay, just re-traumatize her a little bit, give her a break under a tree, shoot it with a mech, and there we go. Problem solved.
It was under this tree that my master told me his dreams of being a sage. Must go to the lighthouse. Save Master Crest.
Right, the lighthouse. That's where you and Crest were attacked.
So if we go there, we can save Crest.
Right, let's go. Okay.
All right.
Wow. Oh. My controller died? Huh. Okay, 1 second. I guess I just... It's weird. Yeah, I'm just gonna reconnect my wireless controller here. I just decided to just drop. I don't know why. Now it looks like we're good. No, and then as soon as I connect back to the game, maybe it's just dead. Which I admit would be weird because I've charged it recently, but it's okay. This is why I have cables everywhere. Although in truth, I actually kind of hate this cable. It's just a little too long. And I actually, okay, I'm using an old PS4 controller. Because the Bluetooth functionality is really nice. And why not, you know, like... Why get rid of something? Oh, I see what it did there. Probably didn't make a difference to my recording. There we go. But when you connect the PS4 controller via USB, it just goes, oh, did you mean the little speaker on the USB controller? That's where you want all of your sound to go? All right. We're back in action now. No, I think it's been like an episode since we fought anything. Well, that's okay. I'll just ride bod my way through it for now. What did we get? Nice. Oh, wow. Okay. Just all the stuff right off the bat. You know, I honestly, again, I don't remember a point where the ride pod, like, I don't think it gets taken away from you. I honestly can't remember. So maybe it does, but I just feel like it's, you know, why not just use it? It's dark mecha. Like, come on. Actually, you know what? Thinking about it, why is this game called Dark Cloud? We're not really dealing with, like, a darkness, right? It's not like the villain of this game is, like, some shadowy kind of, like, Voldemort type. I guess it's just a holdover from the first game, like with the Dark Genie. But even then, that game didn't really have anything to do with clouds. Dark Chronicle, you know, it's going to be a dark story, but I would say this game isn't particularly dark. Like, it has maybe hints of darkness, but it's a pretty bright, relatively cutesy game, you know? Like, look at this enemy. His name's Yo-Yo Barrel. This is, oh man, oh, okay. It's not like the D&D campaign that I just got to run. I had a session last night, and we had like it was like a hard tonal shift that I knew was coming, and I kind of like let a long few sessions of like happiness and festivals and cute things and exploring and animals and family and love and all that was coming together, and it was great. But it was even greater because it serves the purpose of making the fall and the change that much greater as you move into more challenging subject matter. So basically, I had my players go from the island home of one of them, where they were participating in regular festivals and enjoying the culture and kind of like just relaxing after some quests and some hardships and some fights and literally going to hell at one point. Now they've finalized something that they had to do on the island. They had to retrieve a powerful magical artifact and bring it back here. So the mentor of one of the players could perform a ritual using the magical item as kind of a catalyst, a source of energy to stabilize the island because it feels like it's sinking. They did that last session. And it was really kind of funny because they were making a lot of like, they didn't know something big. Like, I think they knew something big was going to happen, but I think they were closer to there's going to be like a giant, or like bugs are going to appear, or something is going to come out of the island, or something like is going to pop out of the ocean, or something like that. So when they completed the ritual and this like psionic bug humanoid came out of a portal and was pissed off at them and was asking for a report using names they don't know, they were pretty confused. And then when ethereal chains connected to the island and began to pull the entire thing out of the ocean into that portal, they weren't super pleased. And when they were all psionically commanded to listen, give up all of their equipment, and become prisoners in what seems to be one of these psychic bug prisons, also a little bit of a shift. So we ended off the session with one of the players, like, it's funny because you should always know players are going to do something. So I had in my notes, there's like this prison gang when they end up here. They're blacked out. They wake up. They have none of their stuff. They have collars on that prevent spell casting. Their attributes are reduced. Their health is reduced. they're really at a disadvantage right now. And one of the first things they see in this new prison block that they're in is somebody asking for food. Because it seems to be these are like unmanaged prisons. They're closer to like barns for mortals than they are like a standardized prison system with guards watching you, caring about contraband. They see somebody get beat into the wall, his eyeball pop out of his head, and gets, thrown back and dismissed, and everyone just laughs. No one's trying to hide anything. No one's trying to look good. So it very much seems to be the prisons here are an anarchy between the prisoners. And the only time you're ever like reprimanded or demanded to do something is when you're called to labor by the owners of the prison. But yeah, they saw some tremendous violence. And yeah, I had this note in my campaign that's like, okay, this gang that exists in this block, they're gonna try and do that classic prison thing where they try and like get you to owe them a favor. They're gonna like lend you something, offer you something right away, try and help you, and then immediately turn that around as, okay, you owe us now. I'm not gonna do the Sfida right this second. And take advantage of them. But I didn't know, like, if anyone was going to do that, if it was going to take some time or anything like that. And literally the first 5 minutes, one of the characters takes them up on their offer for some food and some ale. Doesn't use them themselves, tries to help the guy that had been hurt with it and like give it to them and try to do a little recovery or something. But still, they got caught, and we had some rolls because I don't like doing stuff to players without giving them a check or an attempt to like at least feel like they honestly lost or honestly won, right? So if I'm gonna do something like psionics to make him kneel and become paralyzed, or this big orc is coming up towards you to push you down the ground and hold a knife to your throat while his boss threatens you, I'm gonna let you have save. And it'll probably be a straight shot competition rolled with open numbers so that whatever the verdict is, it's the story the dice tell. And I can go either way, right? But in this situation, it ended up being like a 22 versus a 6. So basically the biggest player was pushed down to the ground, a knife held to his throat, and everyone was just getting threatened. And now he's being tasked with assassinating someone else in this prison for this prison gang. And it was like the first 20 minutes of being there, he had pissed off this gang, owed them favors, and now he's being commanded to go and do harm to somebody else, otherwise they're gonna kill him in his sleep. That was like the threat, because it is one of those things too where like this is a pitch black type of situation. Like it is not a happy setting, it is not a place where there is mercy. It is it's messed up, it is horrible. There are negative people here, and there are circumstances where even good people might temporarily be the worst version of themselves, purely to survive. I think one of the best paths is for the party to kind of like realize you don't have your equipment, you don't have your magic, you don't have a lot of trinkets and stuff like that. What is the greatest asset in a situation like this? What tools do you have? What can you do? And how can you play the cards that you're dealt? There's a lot of open-endedness in this setting too, because I try not to do too many railroady things. Like every now and then something is going to happen, and the thing happening is what happens. It's just like it's the way things go. Sometimes there's a bunch of options, sometimes there's not. So everyone failed their saves. There's no known psionic resistance in the party group, so them getting turned into prisoners, it happened. But now, how do you resolve it? They have collars that are impairing them. The guards themselves, the species, seem incredibly capable. They have a psionic ability to usher commands and force you to listen. So there's a lot of threats. There's a lot of things that need to be dealt with. And then once you do, what's the strategy? It seemed to be that they were bragged somewhere that time doesn't pass, that is outside of the material plane of existence. So even if you were to get free, where the hell are you going to go? How? And that's, it's fun stuff like that that I'm going to get to explore in the ongoing arc of my D&D campaign. I'm pretty psyched, because it's one of those things where we're on session 92, 93, 94, something around there. And we've been playing for 2-3 years in this campaign. So I've had this idea for this, sequence. I've had a general idea of all the arcs, even the one after this, since I wrote the campaign when we all, kind of got together and started it. But it was very much something where it's that's so deep in there. I don't know if I'm ever going to get to run it. It's a great idea. I love it. I think it'll be really fun, especially to flip high-level players and kind of make them think a little bit more tactically. But will we get there? And to say that we did it was really, really fun. Now, I think as well, one of the things about restriction from a gameplay design standpoint is, as fun as it is to handle a challenge of, say, you don't have your weapons, you don't have your regular stuff, you got to find other solutions, you have to use improvised weapons, you have to do slightly less optimized strategies. That's fun. That is fun, but not permanently. Permanently, it's drag. So you have to be, I think, in the pursuit of getting your full power back. And that's what really makes it fun. You overcome that period of disability where you can't use all of your things. You go through this hardship, you may have some brutal combats where you're just resorting to tactics you would never use otherwise. Undercutted things, brutal things. Taking advantage, lying, attacking first, using subterfuge, using guile, using guerrilla tactics, using maybe something worse in the means of survival. And then when you get back to the point where you have your powers, your spells, all of your fancy stuff, do you wreck house? Do you change the status quo? Do you take revenge? Do you become even more brutal now, having been, enticed by that approach? Do you continue to rage? Do you realize that the only thing that was ever making you a good person was the ability to be stronger than everybody else? And if you have that privilege taken away, you too are a merciless piece of shit. I think those are really interesting questions to explore in the context of a fantasy situation. And it's really great too, because the lore implications of this whole thing are fun. One of the players is kind of realizing oh man, is my species even from my ancestral home? Did we just end up here? Were we put there? Were we transplanted from another realm? Were we bred here and just kind of seeded out through the material realm to grow? Those are great questions that I want them to be asking. It's really satisfying. I as well, don't get me wrong, I've played a whack of pre-constructed campaigns. That's what I grew up doing. The DMs that I played with, that's what they would do, right? So there was a lot of Tomb of Horrors, so to speak, that type of thing. I played actually a lot of advanced D&D, and you might as well call it asshole D&D, because it's very brutal a lot of times. And I think that that generation of D&D still had that adversarial mindset where it was the DM versus the players. Nowadays, I think most groups have moved towards more of a communal story kind of approach, where we're all working together to collectively tell a satisfying tale. I like that for the most part. I definitely do. I think this is a weird diatribe, right? But I spent a lot of time on a website back in the day called Vampire Freaks. I was indeed. I was a wasn't really a scene kid. I wasn't an emo kid, but I was always a metalhead, and I had friends that were in that world. I was very counterculture, angsty young man. And I spent a lot of time at Vampire Freaks. I don't know if you've ever been there. Don't go if you're an adult now. I don't even know if it's still up, but don't worry about wasting your time there. What I did back in the day was an obnoxious, embarrassing if I was anyone else amount of roleplay. Like forum-based roleplay. Back and forth, playing characters, different scenarios, situations, circumstances, all these things. It usually went down a few predefined routes. You can guess which ones. But broadly speaking, it was a lot of writing. And there's a very specific type of role play that happens in situations like that, right? Especially when you're young, writing with other presumably young writers, people who are learning the craft, kind of defining their style, determining how they want to convey ideas. Like, do they want to be punchy? Do they want to be long-winded? Do they want to be whatever? And then during that is a lot of long-winded roleplay, which is fine. That's fine. If that's what you're looking for, if it's what you have the mental space for. I've kind of grown out of being able to, like, really tolerate super long monologues, ongoing dialogues, or conversations that, like, need editing, just because I've spent so much time on those forum websites doing responses and, like, you know, working with someone or doing an RP scene with someone who is a really passionate writer, but maybe they're young and they're not cutting it out, or they're really enjoying themselves and they just want to fully indulge. But they do this like 14-page monologue and you have to respond to all of it and pay attention to all of it. And that's fine, but by the time you get through this scene and you do a whole overview, you're like, 75% of this is one conversation, nothing else has happened. So I think, like, the critical role style of D&D, which is very popular nowadays, is a little bit too indulgent in windy, kind of annoying conversations and dialogue. Like, I like roleplay that serves a purpose, even if it is a character purpose, you know, revealing something about you, explaining what you like, what you don't like, what you think, what you want to do, what you're trying to achieve. All that, great. I don't love roleplay that's just, like, chewing the scenery and LARPing it. You know, like, nah.
So you decided to hold a fishing tournament?
Well, with all that's been going on, I think the townspeople have had a lot to worry about.
I mean, other than, like, the clowns, doesn't everyone here still, like, kind of live with the misunderstanding that the world outside is totally great?
Hopefully a bit of fishing will take their minds off it.
That's our mayor.
Well, I've done no fishing, and yeah, so I don't even know if I'm gonna go do it. I actually just looked at the rewards for the fishing competition, and other than the missile launcher, meh. Didn't even seem like anything, like, crazy useful. Maybe I have different definitions of useful. I was just kind of, like, underwhelmed by the rewards that I could have gotten. Oh, hey, yeah. That's kind of cute. Like, I don't need It doesn't make any difference, but cool to know. Nico Poos. Oh. Nice water element. Wow. Okay, I thought I was shooting, but that's fine. Cool, cool. Yeah, this is a big level, it kind of looks like. I shouldn't have done that, whatever. Can I go beat up this crescent? Oh, no. Well, that sucks. I just, like... What happened? Is this... What is this? Do I have something to cure it? Doesn't look like it. Do I have any bread? Okay, this guy can time stop you. Cool, man. It was cool to see you reprise the role in Megalopolis. I don't know if my viewers are movie people. I'm a huge movie guy. I've watched pretty much everything that was nominated for the Oscars this year. I try and generally keep up. My letterbox does hundreds and hundreds of editions into it. I kind of like it all, you know, like I'm actively reading comics. I'm reading a few different series right now, but I'm watching a lot of movies and shows as well. I kind of just like all art, you know? There's nothing out there that I really dislike. But yeah, comics are great right now as well. There's so many cool things going on. We're definitely in like a height of reboots and new universes being some of the best stuff to be reading right now. I say that because like I'm reading both all of the new Ultimates on the Marvel side of things. So new Marvel Ultimate Spider-Man, Ultimate Black Panther, the Ultimates, you had Ultimate Invasion, and then Ultimate Wolverine is coming out as well. So you have like all of these new runs are starting with new universes, new versions of the characters with a really cool setup. I'll fully concede to that. It's a very cool setup. And then you have the Absolute Universe starting on the DC side. Right now, that started off with oh god, what all new Justice or something like that. It's an event comic that sets off the universe, and it's basically like they try and expel Darkseid. And if you don't know who Darkseid is, I'm not as big a DC guy, but Darkseid is like a universal constant who represents the sort of like force of entropy and negativity, as I understand it. And they try and expel him from all universes and prevent him from having the power that he does across existence. And in doing so, it's kind of one of those, like, you can't destroy energy, only transfer it situations. So they remove him from all the universes. But since he and his energy need somewhere to go, he forms his own one. All of the energy of Darkseid becomes a universe where the universe does not trend towards justice. Which is probably the most apt description of the changes to all these characters. Absolute Batman, Absolute Wonder Woman, Absolute Superman, they are the current legs of the Absolute run. I think New Gods is kind of like leaning into it or kind of like discussing it. I'm not as aware of those characters because I'm not as big a DC guy as I am a Marvel guy. And then I think Absolute Flash is coming out. I don't know if they're going to do Absolute Green Lantern or how far they're going to take the whole thing. But the runs have been tremendous so far. And because they're like number ones in, excuse me, I'm dying here. In new universes, new readers can really pick up these stories without any issues and like get going and have a sense of not being tripped up by canon inherently. And it's nice because like on both Marvel and the DC side, there are some mainline stories that maybe just like aren't as fantastic, or maybe they're getting a little convoluted. As has always been the issue with like mainline comics, is sometimes they're so self-referential that to get big impacts or to understand story moments, you have to be reading like 15 books in sequence. And that could be a drag. Like, I've recently had this experience, right? Like, I wanted to go and check out the Blood Hunt event that Marvel put out. And I read through the whole thing and all the tie-ins. So, like, the main Blood Hunt comic is like 5 or 6 issues or something like that. And then there's a whack of books that all have Blood Hunt events running in the middle of their series. But all of those series kind of have to, like, contend with the events of the event and whatever is going on in their own series at the time, and like merge these things or sideline stories to make, you know, room for this big overarching story. And while it was like a fun way to like cut through some books and be like, oh, I'm interested in what they're doing here more than I'm interested in the event, I should check this out or whatever, there's other stuff where I'm like, I have no idea what's going on here. I don't know who this is. I don't know why I should care about this. And it was annoying. So, yeah. Compared, like, the experience of going through, tracking down, and reading everything for the Blood Hunt event. And then reading, like, you know, the new Ultimate stuff, starting from the beginning. Obviously, there's less of one than the other, so it's inherently easier to do that. But it's also like a little bit more satisfying. The through line is easier to follow. Which is why I'm probably going to go back to reading series, and then like if I approach an event in a series, I'm just going to read straight through the series, each one, and then just like pick up the pieces of the event as I go. Because, yeah, doing it the other way just straight up wasn't fun. I think maybe I enjoyed that more as a kid. Or if, like, it's only, like, a few books going back and forth and, like, they're really tied into the event. Like, if I'm thinking of, like, Secret Wars, the new 2015 one by Hickman. That, like, reading through the events leading up to that, you hit a point where you're basically just ping-ponging between Avengers and New Avengers. And you're doing that for like issue to issue to issue. It'll be like 33 here, 36 here, and you just go issue to issue reading both of them because they're such a tightly intertwined story. And that's great. That's fine. That's not even an issue. I would argue put them into one book if it didn't cut your sales in half. But yeah, there's some events where it's just like read 30 things and then read issue 2 of the event. And it's like, bro. But what can you do? Movies have been pretty good too. I mean, I was a little bit disappointed with the Oscars in that The Substance didn't win bigger, and that Nosferatu didn't win cinematography at all. Actually, that's a great topic because I could just rant about this forever. The Brutalist kind of sucked. Now, I don't want to demean anyone's work because I'm not saying it. Well, I guess I said it sucked, right? It wasn't bad. I just didn't care, and I was a little bit bored. I think the acting was fine. The writing was smaller than I was expecting, and the outcome didn't feel that significant to me. And without spoiling anything, there were some scenes that I don't know how much narrative weight they were given. They just kind of felt like they were to shock the audience. And some of the shots were actually messier than I was hoping for, right? Because, like, I watched The Brutalist after I knew it won, so maybe I was being harsher on it than I would have been. And I really thought when it came to cinematography, Nosferatu kicked it in the nuts. Like, it just made The Brutalist look like somebody just took a old film camera and walked down some crappy street. Like, in comparison, right? Like, there's so many boring shots in The Brutalist. There's so many, like, lingering shots that I'm sure, like, the actors loved, but to me, they just aren't that significant. Also, I don't even care if this is a spoiler. If you don't want a spoiler for The Brutalist, like, just stop. But this is a small spoiler. And I understand the intent of the scene is to showcase how a lack of homogenization, even if you're getting along and you can work together on a personal human level or like have a nice night and enjoy yourselves, that anti-Semitism, that fear of the different, that dislike of people who remind you that you're not all the same, that's ever present, right? So I get it. But there's a scene where, like, this main character is living with a cousin, and his cousin has a wife, and they're all, like, getting a little drunk one night and dancing, and the cousin's like, you should dance with my wife. You should, like, kind of kiss her and hold her, and they have, like, a little bit of an intimate moment, but he's not into it. Like, he is pushed into it by the cousin. He seems very, like, not into it, and he only kind of goes along with it when the girl, like, kind of dances and pushes into him as well. And they don't even, like, have sex or something. They just kind of, like, have a awkward, intimate, drunk dance thing. And nothing even comes of it, and he seems, like, not into it the whole time. So, like, I don't know. But then later in the movie, the very same cousin who was there in this moment and was, like, pushing him to be all touchy-feely with his wife goes up to the guy. He's like, yeah, we gotta kick you out. I don't know how you could do this. You were hitting on my wife. You were making advances on her. And it's like, literally, dude, you were throwing your wife at him last night. Like, he didn't even want it, and you were pushing it at him, and now you're mad at him, acting like he can't be trusted in the house. Like, it was such a... I don't know. I would have rather they made the point any other way. There's a lot of unsaid things in the movie, and I think, like, you know, show don't tell is sometimes fun. Show half of things, tell nothing is just lazy. And that's kind of what I feel like happened. But again, you compare it to Nosferatu. Dude. Just the scene, like, in the opening 30 minutes of Nosferatu, where he is, like, approaching the carriage that has come down this ghostly lane of overarching trees. It's like this harrowing, foggy moment. The camera is always in motion, always focusing on the most interesting, distant thing until it becomes closer. And then as it becomes closer, we don't zoom in on it or something silly like that. We follow our character as he's almost levitated and pulled into the center of this carriage. It's so much better. There's so many good shots in Nosferatu. And then to have it beaten by The Brutalist was just indulgent Oscars crap, if you ask me. I wasn't as invested in the Best Male Actor. I'm not gonna lie. I'm fine that Adrien Brody won it, mainly because, like, the competition this year, I didn't see it as much. Not like I didn't see the movies. I think I saw pretty much everything. I just wasn't as impressed. Like, I love Ralph Fiennes. Love him. I think every performance he's done is tremendous. Almost all of his movies are some of my favorites. Every role he's ever had, he raises everything he's in. Obviously, you know, you could say the things like Voldemort and Grand Budapest Hotel, but just in general, he is one of the best actors I've ever seen. Like in Bruges as well. Great character for him. Whatever. But yeah, I didn't like, well, okay. I didn't dislike it. I thought it was perfectly good. The Covenant? I think that's what that was. The Pope movie. Oh, great. So there you have. I'll like condense it down or something. But I just didn't think it was an Oscar-worthy performance from him. Like, it was good. The movie was good. I just didn't see it as like an Oscar-worthy performance. It wasn't. I don't know. Maybe there's a subtext that is only more present if you are a religious person. As someone who like didn't grow up with that, maybe it's just missing for me. And like some of the conflicts he was playing at, I just didn't connect with. But I just thought it was a good performance, but not an Oscar-winning performance. I still haven't watched A Complete Unknown. It's actually pretty much one of the only things out of the Oscar-winning season this year, or the Oscar-nominated season, that I haven't watched, and I don't know why. Maybe I'm just not like a huge Bob Dylan guy. I have nothing against him. I'm just like, you know, not a big fan inherently. Timothy Chalamet is fine. I kind of like him more as a sci-fi guy than this like pretentious Oscar drama guy he's like maybe trying to shift into, or maybe he's always wanted to be that. I don't know. But I like his Paul Atreides. And it is important that like an actor playing Paul Atreides can sell that he buys his own bullshit, right? Like that is essential for the character of Paul Atreides the First. He has to recognize that he's going to do something possibly horrible, risky, destructive, and something that will change the world. And he has to believe that it's right, and he has to believe that he is the one who has to do it. So, like, to be someone who's a little bit self-focused or self-centered, pretentious, maybe overly confident in your abilities, that's actually a great fit for Paul Atreides. I would say, though, that one of the only, like, major misses... I think I like Dune. I love the new movies by Denis Villeneuve. Fantastic films. But I feel like of everyone I've ever asked that's watched the movies but hasn't read the books, I asked them the same question. After you've watched those movies, based on everything you have seen, what is the value of spice, melange? Nobody knows, because the movies don't talk about it. Like, as far as a lot of people who watch the shows now, even, or the movies, and I haven't seen all the episodes of the show that's coming out, but the general consensus of people is like, people like it because drugs and psychic powers, and it's like, not really. As a hugely important position in the universe, it's majorly beneficial to space travel, arguably required. It is the cornerstone of economies that just like never get brought up in the movies, and that's okay. You can't cover everything.
So this is the lighthouse.
Okay, we're going to the past now. How fun. All right.
Are you ready?
Yes.
This moon crystal may be lighting up the ocean here, now, but one day it'll be bright enough to illuminate the whole planet.
Really? How do you know?
You could call it a hunch.
You know everything, don't you, Master? Master, what's that?
What in the...
So, that's the moon crystal, eh? Yes. A stone that shows you the future. Even though all there is to see in the future is darkness and despair. What shall I do? Destroy it. Those are Emperor Griffin's orders. Yes, sir.
Lynn, you wait here. Max, let's go.
Yeah.
What's going on? Who are you?
We'll explain later. That's Gaspard! How did he get here?
Watch out! The lighthouse is on fire!
Master!
It's all right, Lynn. You wait here.
Where are you going?
I'm going to use the crystal.
Master!
Well, well. A visitor, eh? Hey, Jamming, why don't you head inside?
Yes, sir.
Gaspard! Remember me? It's Monica Raybrant.
Raybrant. Yes, you must be King Raybrant's girl. My. Imagine that. Running into a princess in a place like this.
You tore my kingdom to bits, and you murdered my father. Now you're going to pay.
Murdered? Oh, now that hurts. Your father and I fought fairly. He simply wasn't good enough to beat me.
In a fair fight, my father never would have lost to the likes of you.
Well then, why don't you just try me for yourself?
Get ready, Gaspard!
Cool. Oh, okay.
Fire!
Head
Wow,
towards the
good
center.
job, Lynn.
Okay.
Do we have to do battle with the fire? Yeah? Okay, let's fight fire. Oh no. Okay, okay. What's happening? Just like... Let me do something, please. Or don't. Dark Assassin. Gaspard. I don't want that. Oh, not what I wanted either. Oh, okay. Ow, that sucks. Okay, well, clearly I'm going to need, Max, I'm going to need your, bread. But it's good to know, like, I have a few items. Oh. Oh, okay. I'm so... Max is so strong. Hey. Oh, we have to physically beat up fire? Okay. Oh, we're transitioning back over. Ah, well, that sucked. I don't know why he gets to, like, heal half of the hits that we do to him, but whatever. Oh, okay, yeah, we're gonna transition back over. Great. Oh. Ah. Oh, come on. She can't move? All right, whatever. Well, I was kind of hoping to be able to do that in one go because my recording window is closing here. So I guess that's the end of this episode, and I'm gonna redo that boss fight next time around. Doesn't seem like it was too hard. I just should have swung my camera around to see that fire. Oh well, thanks for watching. See you around next time. Bye.